So Acrylics accuses me of sending hentai to a kid. First of all, no, I didn't. Secondly, I didn't even know the age. Also, in the bio, there isn't an age there. Also, this is a weird reaction to hearing that your friend sent what you would class as porn to a Discord server with minors in it. Also, by the way, this is the image in question. Yeah, this is the porn he's talking about. Could you argue inappropriate? Fair enough, but this definitely is not porn. Oh, by the way, the piece of shit also says I have CSE on my account. I don't. You can check out my account if you want. My account is 18+. I got a lot of horny posts on there, some odd posts, but not CSEM. So yeah, go fuck yourself. Anyway, I guess that should be it for the video. Like and subscribe. Hello, welcome to the channel. Yeah, so let's just get into this. Oh, by the way, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Anyway, let's just skip. Let's skip this because this is the intro, and let's actually skip into chapter 1.
On and on, just so he can get some of that money, you know, because that's all he cares about at the end of the day. He will normally drag out these videos to 8 minutes or even longer if he wants to. So Rev, instead of actually repeating yourself over and over again, maybe try to get to the point and stick to the point so your videos will be shorter. I mean, you really see me do that shit because I actually get to the point in my videos, and that's why my videos have been short recently. Also, Rev does another genre of content on his channel, and this kind of content is kind of degenerate. If you haven't already, then you'll know that I made...
Yeah, this is my point about him having a bias against lewd content. Also, my whole thing with that as well, that it seems like Mythical completely ignores the discretion of the parents to monitor their kids, stuff like that, so they don't go into this lewd content. There's so many things like you can turn off. I'm pretty sure there's restriction mode. You can have your kid's account on your phone where you go in and you just check on it. You can even, that sort of thing to make sure they're not watching anything that's inappropriate. And it's not the content creator's responsibility for the kids. I mean, you've heard all that before.
Made a video on this other VTuber called Fifi. If you've seen that video, then you know what type of content I'm on about, what Rev makes, and my stance on it. I'm not a big fan of sexual content being on the platform YouTube, mainly because kids use this platform, and I know there's going to be a few Rev fans who are going to argue that, hey, YouTube Kids a thing, so why don't they use that? Well, it's common knowledge by now that kids don't use YouTube Kids at all, and kids confuse sexual content very easily, and I'm not a big fan of that because that just makes me uncomfortable to think about.
Well, no, we know the real reason why YouTube Kids isn't really that good either, because there's been some content that's gone on there that is not for kids at all. If anything, I would recommend, by the way, this isn't like, I'm not like an expert or anything, so don't take this advice to heart, but I'd recommend, if you're a parent, like, talk with your kid, just talk with your kid, like, yeah, I'm gonna check it, just be honest with me, that sort of stuff. Or if they're very young and you just want to plop them down into YouTube for like an hour or so while you're cooking or cleaning, or like maybe you have to go out and get some stuff, that sort of thing, just make their account and then just make a copy of that account on your phone. Literally just sign into their account on your phone and stuff like that, or like on another device. So whenever they're done, you can take it like every week or something and just check and just do a quick skim of the content that they're watching. It's that easy. It's that easy to check on the content. It's like you probably could take like 10 minutes, quickly skim through it, just generally look at all the thumbnails and stuff like that. Maybe even pop into the video, to have it at like 2x speed.
The fact that Rev has a fan base by making this type of content just says a lot about his fan base overall. Most of his fans are just like degenerate, cringy VTuber losers.
Yeah, and this is about the stuff about the fans now with this. By the way, I'm playing it on 2x speed because it's just, honestly, it seems very long-winded. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Done. Okay, so now let's get on to the topic on why Rev is a dishonest loser. So Rev likes to twist up words of other people so it fits his narrative. For one example, he tried making it look like that Mythicuck was defending Lolicon when he really wasn't.
So in case you didn't catch that, there was actually Mythicuck, aka Charlie, in the background of that video, which I think is pretty funny. His views on this is pretty wishy-washy in the videos that he appears in with Nuts, but I think there's one clip in particular that really speaks to where Charlie stands in this whole thing.
And for some fucking reason, Twitter being the cesspool that it is somehow brings anime into this, talking about, well, why is beauty such a big deal when anime has kids being sexualized? Well, first of all, anime is fake. Those like children lolly things, those fucking 900-year-old vampires that look like they're 4 years old, the little cum demons that have existed for 2 millennia, they look like a 6-year-old, those aren't real people. They are animated fake things.
So obviously...
Well, by the way, I would like to say, Mythical's defense lolicon, he did. Those are defenses for lolicon. He states one, they're fictional, and comparing them to cuties is dumb, and that they aren't comparable.
It's pretty funny to compare these two takes that somehow strangely both bring up this whole 5,000-year-old whatever.
It's kind of fucking pathetic that you have to make it look like Mythicuck was defending Lolicon when he really wasn't whatsoever. I mean, he was comparing it to a movie that actually sexualized real kids, and everyone with a normal brain would come to the same conclusion that sexualizing real kids is a lot worse than sexualizing anime kids. Don't get it twisted, I still think that the whole concept of Lolicon is disgusting and there should be no excuse for it whatsoever, but I'll get onto that later on. But I do have a clip to prove that Mythicuck doesn't really like the whole Lolicon thing and he finds it weird and disturbing.
How weird that every single anime and manga focuses on, like, kids when it doesn't need to. And it's always so fucking awful, like the lolly shit. I hate that. I am not a fan, and it's...
Oh, also, by the way, just because he goes it's weird and disturbing, and Moist Critical is saying that he's not a fan of this sort of stuff, is not an indication that that it is nonsense or that, that is pedophilia. He's not saying that. when he's saying that he's not a fan of it. He's simply saying that he's not a fan of that content. But in the clip, prior what he showed us, he defended it by going, you should not be comparing this to cues which exploits children. That was his whole thing. So he was first of all, he was defending Lolicon, and he also was going, don't compare this to actual exploitation of children. You know? To try and go and say that he wasn't doing that just seems disingenuous.
For some reason, it's such a contentious debate for some reason. I don't get it. It should just be pretty open and cut as weird. Now, of course, there's no, like, real victims with, like, lollies and all that. That doesn't make it any less disturbing. And in this documentary, they follow around a guy they met at this convention. I absolutely can't show a lot of this on stream, but...
Also, an annoying thing about this, I would like to say, is that where are the dates? Because some of this stuff doesn't have dates, videos, and there's no links. At least from what I saw in the description, when it comes to where he gets his definitions from or something like that. Because, you know, that's a big problem when you're trying to prove something and going, saying lolicon is pedophilia and stuff, right? It's good to make sure that when you cite your sources, you get a source, you get the script, you get like a definition, and you link it in the description or something like that. That's what you usually do, so that then people can go and actually look and check and see if it's true. But it just seems because you're on your channel, it's like, oh, everybody's just gonna agree with me anyway, so I don't actually need to do that. I don't need to cite my source or anything. I can just talk and go, yeah, it's just common sense, guys. Which we literally could use for, like, just drop my drink.
I just want to show the guy. So they actually go to this guy's house, and he is a manga illustrator. Damn it. And he talks about the first thing he wrote being a manga about a high school girl who keeps getting gang raped, and she starts to like getting raped. And it was for a magazine called Rape, I believe the publication was called Rape. And he talks about how, like, normal it is and how it's fine, like, it's good because there's no victims. He himself also admits to being attracted to children, and this prevents him from, like, actually going out and doing things to children.
There we go then, that's one of his takes on the whole lolicon thing. And I know that the Rev...
Yeah, that's one of his takes, but you're saying that take basically overrides the other take. You're saying that take contradicts his other take when it doesn't. At that point, he's saying that you think it's fucked up and weird. Personally, you know, that's what he's saying. But that doesn't contradict his other statement where he goes, you shouldn't be comparing this to actual exploitation of kids. Those don't contradict each other. Also, with the other video, we could actually date that. Date the fucking videos. I'm actually kind of annoyed at that because I'm just realizing I'm gonna have to find that video. I watched the other one through the video that he referenced to see. No, it's the video that's coming up with like the bear scene and stuff. To actually watch that to reference it, so I could reference it in the script and stuff. But with the other one, I'm gonna have to probably find that, and that's gonna take me forever because there's no sign of the source. The only reason why I knew about the bear one is because, well, that's recent. I actually saw that video before. I think this is the longest. This is the longest part of what I've written so far. Jesus. Yeah. So let's get into that.
Alright, so this segment's gonna be a little bit controversial for some reason when it really shouldn't be, but I'm just gonna say this right now so everyone knows what my stance is on this whole thing. Lolicons are pedophiles, well, most of them are, and that's me being charitable.
So for legal reasons, I must say not all, even though that's what I really believe.
The reason why I say this is because Rev is actually a defender of this whole lolicon thing. He pretty much built his channel on defending this type of stuff. If you don't know what a lolicon is pretty much someone who's sexually attracted to a fictional underage anime girl. Shoricon is also the same thing, but it's a male version of it. But I'm only going to use the word lolicon because that's more well known and it's easier for me and the viewers to understand. Well, anyway, so basically these lolicons like diffuse some media what is basically animated CP. They normally say it's not CP, but it actually is by the definition because...
Guys, Mythical here now. I must inform you I've spread some misinformation. So 1, I ignore the fact that definitions say young or young-looking characters and don't mention age. 2, I ignore that Japan has completely separate words for pedo and lolicon. 3, I ignore the fact when the law and definitions refer to a child they are talking about a real person, not a cartoon.
But it doesn't have to be real for it to be CP. They also use this excuse by saying, hey, it's legal where I'm from, so it's okay to use that type of media. No, it's not okay. It has never been okay. Just because it's not illegal where you're from, it doesn't mean it's okay. I mean, there's a lot of things if they view that media for a very long time. So tell me what would happen if someone looks at not safe for work content or something what looks like a child, right? They would go out in the real world wanting to seek more, and then the child's going to be a victim, and it has happened multiple times, but no one wants to talk about it because it looks what aren't illegal, but it's still fucked up to do. And the whole lolicon thing is just one of them. The fact that they have to find a loophole to get away with it is actually kind of fucking wild. The thing that annoys me the most is how they say that kids don't get harmed through that content, which is so wrong in so many ways because it actually does do harm to kids in a way. There were so many victims that came out about lolicons sexually abusing or assaulting them.
Well, that's the end of the Mythical video. Check out Sean the Legend vid on Mythical. Will Mythical strick again? Find out next time.